Welcome back to another video. Brad, let's just get into it. I finally finished season 3 of You.
Yep, a little late, but you had some wild opinions on after season 2 and what was going to happen, all the characters that you loved and you hated.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me, what did you think about the third season?
I really liked the third season. I was telling you while I was watching the season that I didn't like what they did with Love's character. I really liked her in the second season. I thought, the way they wrote her character was really good.
She's just good. She's good all around. She's a good girl. She's just a good girl out there trying to make it, out there in California.
Yep. But I really liked her character, and I thought her character change in the season 3 was so drastic, honestly.
It
You know?
was. Yeah. I was with you. I told you beforehand. I did love in
Mm-hmm.
season 2.
I was a simp for
In season 3, I hated her fucking guts. I was like, why is this bitch still alive, Joe?
her.
Take her out of the world. You
So,
know?
and I thought that was funny because, like, I was kind of hesitant to watch season 3 because I'd heard some of your takes, non-spoilerly takes, and you told me the season's a little slow, a lot of killing, and I won't like Love, pretty much. And actually disagree with all of it. You know, I thought the beginning, sure, if it was slow, but it was setting up what he wanted to do. Like, if
Well,
it,
in my defense, that's what I said. I said the first few episodes are slow.
sure,
And then I said and then it all starts spiraling really quickly. That's what
yeah.
I said.
No, for sure. Like in the first episode, she kills Natalie, right? So like, or at the end of the first episode. Um, so a lot happens very quickly.
Yeah,
And
but in my defense, after that, there's that weird time where they're just both trying to find themselves.
sure, going
You know what I'm
camping
saying?
and
Yeah, they're just doing, but it's not like a lot's happening. It's more relationship drama.
sure it is. And I think
And
that's what
then
they
it
were setting
fucking
up.
goes downhill.
Well, and
So
and it's funny because like you have those opinions on Love and like why is she still alive? Why, all this stuff. It's like this cheater, all this, this stuff. Because to be fair, I hated Theo, and I'll get into that in a second. But Joe was really doing the same thing. He was about to cheat on her with Natalie. He
but
did
he
cheat on
didn't.
her with Mary. What? But he was going to. And then
Okay, in Joe's defense, and Joe's a terrible person. Don't get me wrong. In his defense, he was about to, and then he's like, "I can't do this."
still
Could have
kept still
could have
kept the
slept with her
box.
that night.
Had
Didn't.
ta-
I mean, yeah,
had,
because he's a fucking serial stalker and a serial killer, dude.
still had
Yeah,
the
he kept
bloody
the box.
tampon and
Yeah,
everything. It
dude.
was
Hey, listen, you never kept a bloody tampon? Let's
no,
be real.
I haven't.
Okay.
Sorry.
Listen, I've seen tampon. I know ain't no women been at your house. So
Okay.
I'm just saying. But what I mean is like he did stop. She went from that to straight murking Natalie. Right? Now he kind of has a reason to cheat. I mean, let's be real. She just killed a bitch for no reason.
Well, I think it's the one downfall with Joe, and I said in the last video, it's like he's in love with the idea of somebody. He's not
Yeah,
in
he's
love with
never
the
gonna be
person.
happy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
Love should be the person
yeah, she
he
should
should
be.
be with that's accepted him. That's all he wanted, right? Someone to
Hmm.
accept him for who he is, and he found that. And then I think that he gets more a thrill of the chase.
Yeah, he does,
You know?
and that's what it is, and that's what it is for. And that's why I like the show because take the killing out of it, take the
Oh
stalking
yeah,
out of it.
it's an extreme version of a toxic relationship.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah,
it's stuff that people go through in their lives, right? We've all been in some type of toxic relationship. And I think like when you're watching it, you're like, dang, I relate to a lot of things besides the clobbering over the head with, a rolling pin and stuff like that, which I thought was hilarious.
yeah.
Like, but yeah,
I liked it because it was out of fucking nowhere. I loved that part,
sure.
that moment, because it was out of nowhere. I was with Love up until what's his name, Theo.
Theo.
When his character got introduced, that's when I was like,
Yeah.
all right, Love, this is ridiculous.
So let me talk about Theo for a second. And this is
Because she's not that person. I just want to say this real quick. The thing that, and I know you were hating how Joe is always the person that likes to stalk women and likes to find that love and make. She's not that person. She's very loyal to the person that she's with.
Yeah, but she stalks in a loyal way, right? Like, and you saw that in season 2 where Joe was setting up to work at Anavra and everything. She was also setting everything up, and like so they were both setting this thing up. So you see that she is that's why I didn't like her character change, because she went from a
Mhm.
methodical person to not at all, and like just kills out of passion, which it was like that in all of her other killings. It just didn't make sense the way they drove her reactions with things. Um, you know, the Theo character, listen, bad character. It's just a very bad character. Not no discredit to the actor, even though I hate his pouty face that he'd make. But no one like sure, they're in San Francisco. We know they're rich, they're all that. But no one's going to relate to a 19-year-old, rich, spoiled kid who's obviously gotten everything he's wanted and shows that, gets drunk at college, everything, and then comes home and still gets the girl next door. Like, it didn't, like, I didn't like the character. It just was like, well, he's got a pouty face. Like, I don't like his
Yeah, especially I
flirting.
thought the falling in love with her and like wanting to be with her and take her away from that kind of didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I don't know. In my opinion, I didn't think he was a very good character. I think he was the worst character in the season, maybe in the show, honestly. Um, I didn't mind everyone else. I didn't mind the snarky California, suburban life that everyone was trying to portray in the show. I thought that's kind of what you see, maybe an
Oh,
exaggerated
what was
version.
the one girls that had the swingers? What was her name?
Sherry, I believe. I think it was
I actually
Sherry.
liked her.
Yeah,
I liked her character.
Sherry and
I liked
Carrie.
her husband.
Mm-hmm.
Like I thought that what's funny is they seem like they would have the worst relationship. I think they had the best relationship
Yeah.
out of everybody in the fucking
I
series.
laughed a lot during their scenes, like every scene,
Yeah.
honestly. And I texted you after the swinging scene, or the whatever scene. I was like, that was an hilarious episode. Up to the part where they start like knocking people off. I thought it was pretty funny, you know. But other than that, I thought season three was really good. Like there were some things that I didn't understand. There's still some plot holes that they haven't gotten into, but maybe they'll get into it with season four. But I think we both read that season four, maybe season five, but it sounds like season four is going to be their last season, right?
And that's what I read, but I don't know how true that is. But I hope they're right. I hope they do that because I think it would be a good every show. And I know we have strong opinions about Dexter, and it's not that the seasons weren't good at the end, and they weren't terrible, like unwatchable. But compared to the other seasons, they just most shows do that.
Yeah.
Like I'm a huge. The only show that probably didn't is Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad is probably good from start to finish.
And there are people that'll
Um,
still pick it apart.
Sure, but like most other shows, I think 8, 9 seasons too long. Like
It
I love
is.
Sons of Anarchy. It fell off. Last seasons were
Mm-hmm.
terrible. Game of Thrones last season was terrible. Like, all those good shows. And I think it's especially because of what this is, you can only do this so many times.
Yeah.
It was like kind of the reason with Dexter. It's like, all right, how many times are you going to be put in this situation and always get away with it? Like, right?
Mm-hmm.
The stars like are aligning way too much for him. It doesn't make sense. And it's the same for Joe, but a little worse now because unlike Dexter, Joe doesn't have anonymity, right? His past followed him to California. Then everybody around him died in California.
Mm-hmm.
Then he goes to San Francisco and everybody died. People have to put two and two together. I mean, the guy next door was already doing that, right?
Well,
So
it's
you can only go on so long before, all right, now it's really unbelievable.
Well, yeah, and like I think what they
I run
they
out of
they,
ideas.
they almost call out what they're doing too. Like what was it, Chekhov's gun or whatever it is? Oh my God,
Hmm.
if it's butchering or whatever. But they bring it up in the second season
Oh,
or in the
Peter's pistol.
okay, yeah, I like that. They bring it up in the second season, and then obviously again in the third season because they actually have a gun. And I think that's just in general, if you see the door open, bell ring, and Joe look over at a girl, it's almost like, oh, we know it's about to happen, right? So it's like, how many times can we just go through this where he
Exactly.
likes a
Yeah.
girl, gets obsessed with her, kills her boyfriend, kills people around her, tries to make a relationship out of it, and kills everyone around him?
And
You
she
know what I mean?
finds out. And
Yeah,
yeah.
so like it becomes the same thing. So I do think that season four is
Joe, hide your box better, dude.
yeah.
Hide your box of panties and tampons a
Yeah.
little
The
better.
grate was off, dude. You didn't even screw it back in. That's crazy.
Come on,
Rookie
man.
move.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, hide it. Get an AC unit. Put it behind it. Something like that.
I
Um,
one thing I wish they would get into a little bit more going into season 4 is I really do hope they go into his backstory just a tad bit more. And I know they do just with the little flashbacks here and there, and we get a little bit of it every now and then. And I'm glad they do it like that because I hate seasons where like 30 minutes of flashback scenes, right? And you're like, I don't know how much I care about this, but it's like I gotta
Yeah.
watch it. So I'm
I think
glad they
you
put
did
it in
a
little
yeah, I
tidbits.
think you did a really good job with that to
Hmm.
kind of include you in on all the abuse and things that he's had to suffer in his life and what made him this way.
Yeah,
They just sprinkle it in, and it's also I like too that they've never really asked you to pity him
for
because
sure.
even when all that's happening and you're like, oh, that sucks that happened to him, they go back into showing why he's still a bad human being.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think season 3 is the one season, and I think this will probably be more just a review on season 3 than like talking about season 4. But I think we saw the good side of Joe in this. You know, besides Marion's boyfriend, isn't that who? I'm forgetting his name, Ryan or something like that. Who did he kill? I can't think of anyone that he actually killed during the season. It was
Well, he
all
spent the whole season trying not to kill people.
exactly, and
Yeah.
there he is just trying to change for a family, and maybe he's not changing his stalker ways, which you did see him try and change, for a
Yeah.
half an episode. you
Well,
know,
no, I think he did try to change. I think that he tried to change up until he realized that he didn't want to be with love. And even when he gave it a shot, and then obviously she started being distant and started cheating and stuff like that. And not
well,
excusing
he
his
didn't even
actions.
know about the cheating until the very end.
Oh, I know, I'm just saying, but she started becoming distant because of that.
Hmm.
Um, I think, because there was a lot of times where he was like, I have to fake this. I
Yeah.
have to do it for
Well,
my kid.
and I think we knew that from the end of season 2, right? Where he was like, what did Beck do in this situation? Like when he was locked in the cage, and he was like, what did Beck do in this situation? He's like, she pretended to love me, and that's what I'll do for you. Love is like
Mhm.
I'll pretend to love you for Henry or whatever. And at that point, he thought it was a female, or he's having a daughter.
Which I
And
thought was really weird. Like,
I did too that they like pushed that super hard, and then it being
I think I
a
think
son.
that they never really went into why, and I feel like it was something to they should have explored basically based on his backstory. All the people that hurt him were men,
Hmm.
and that's why he has these
Well,
fixations on women.
not even hurt him, hurt the people that he loved.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, but that yeah, and that is hurting. You know what I mean? That's hurting him as well. And I think that that's why that it was weird that he wanted a daughter. He knew it was a daughter. And it was some guy, and they never really went into it. And
No,
I
they
think they
didn't.
should have. I think they should have said something about it and kind of put it in perspective.
All
You
they
know,
did was try to say the reincarnation of 40, which I didn't like at
that
all.
was
And
weird. Yeah,
yeah,
I thought it was odd. I'd lose my shit if like everybody kept calling my son by their dead brother's name and
yeah.
dead son's name. That's just odd. And why would you want 40 to be reincarnated? He was a piece of shit. You know.
The one thing I really liked about the season was the ending. I thought the altercation between Love and Joe at the end was really well played, and I thought that was probably the best, directing, acting, and everything during the season. The dinner that they had, where I thought everything like that was what I liked about Love was how methodical she was, and then we finally see it at the end of the season, and it's like, why didn't we have any of this? Like she's growing plants because she knows like this is how she killed her first husband. She puts it on the knife and everything like that. Where was that through all the other ones? She couldn't think of
Mhm.
that for Natalie. She couldn't
Yeah.
think of, you know what I mean? So it's
Take them
just
out, yeah, in a different way. I agree. I thought it was cool though. I liked it from both because then we got to see it. We got to see that methodical planning from Joe too, because
and
Joe knew about the flowers. Joe
yeah,
knew what she was doing,
yeah.
and I thought it was cool at the end where he got to get that gotcha moment. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, bitch, you try to kill me, well, I'm killing you.
Exactly. And no, I think that was like I said, that was the crazy moment of the season, right? Where it's like, oh, we think Joe, something's gonna finally happen to
Yeah,
Joe.
but
But I will say the
there's
one,
no possible ways they would actually think he died in that fire.
but bro, that's the one moment that got me. Oh my God. But like, so we can get chills right
He
now.
really got you.
Yeah.
You fucking having seizures.
When he put the knife on it, because I was like, what is he doing right now? I was like, is he just gonna cut his hand and throw some blood around and stuff? And I see him start cutting off. I was like, no, Joe, why are you cutting off your toe, dude? Like, don't do that. That man's gonna walk around crooked for the rest of his life.
But again, no one would believe. So there's a fire, and the only thing left of him was a toe.
Yeah, she's basically what he made, like a crow's pie, a shepherd's pie,
Hmm.
and the whole idea is that you get cooked
Yeah.
into the pie or whatever. So I think that was the whole thing of it. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think that's how it's going to end. You know, he didn't get Marion. She obviously went to Paris, is what we think. We see him in Paris at the end, but also, you know, he's in that bar or whatever it was. They say his name's Nick. You hear some Americans talk, and they're talking about how all these New Yorkers are moving to Paris. So I do think we're gonna see a character from season one come back
Yeah.
into season four, just the way that they set up that last scene with him.
What character do you think it would be?
I don't know. That one's pretty interesting. It's got to deal with Beck, right? I think if this is the last season, if this is the wrap up of everything, you got to have everything come back around. Um, it could be someone with Candace. It could be someone with Beck. It could be Dr. Nikki. You know what I mean? It could be all these people. But it has to deal with someone directly involved with that first season. Um, it's not like anyone's gonna catch them. You know what I mean? It's not like I got you and now I'm taking you. You know, so it's not. I don't think it's gonna be anything like that. But I don't know. Who would you think?
For season one, I don't know who would, because I mean, obviously you could do Beck's friends, but most of them liked Joe,
Yeah.
or all of them really did, and none
Mm-hmm.
of them. It wouldn't be a weird thing to see Joe because the last they heard, he just moved to California. It ain't like he left. I guess he did leave in a hurry after he seen Candace, but at the same time, it's not like it's a weird thing. They're like, "Oh, we haven't seen you since Beck died. I know you left," and he
Mm-hmm.
could just be like, "Yeah, I was so sad,"
Mm-hmm.
And we don't know how he left either. You don't know if he said anything to anybody. I think it would be cool to see. Um, what's the dude's name that worked in the bookshop?
I can't
Him and
remember.
his,
Yeah, I can't
yeah,
remember
but you
his
know what I'm
name.
talking
But
about.
yeah.
I think that'd be cool to see because he would probably, him and his girl would be the most suspicious. Probably, I'm assuming
Yeah.
other stuff would come out where he'd be like, "Oh, that's weird."
Yeah, that's
But
true.
obviously, I don't see as much from him going after Joe, but maybe his girlfriend, because I know she was like, she's the one that put the book out and shit like that.
Exactly.
So maybe she did some research. I don't know
That's
of
true.
anybody else in the first season that I would want to see again other than the private investigator, which I know didn't have a huge role, but I would like to see him because he's the number one person that he suspected Joe,
Sure.
and he didn't believe that Dr.
Yeah.
Nikki killed Beck.
You saw that at the end of the season when he's like reading the book and he's like, I just don't believe. He's like throwing it down or whatever.
Yeah, he's like, that's
But
bullshit.
I just didn't think he was a compelling enough character, and they didn't bring him in season two or three to want me to see him in season four. You know what I mean? Like you should have made him more of a compelling character. What I wouldn't mind seeing actually is the kids. You know, he's always trying to help somebody pretty much throughout every season. Not this third season because he's trying to help his own kid pretty much,
Mhm.
but you had Paco in season one. You know, we don't really know what happened to them. We heard that they were moving to California. You know, and I don't think he's gonna end up in Paris, but you know, that's just something. And then you had Ellie from season two, and last we heard he was still sending her money. So we don't really know what was going on there. I think both of those characters could come
Actually,
back.
that's a good point. If you exclude season one, the characters that I would like to see in season two would be her because she was really intelligent. She didn't have family anymore because her parents were dead. The one person she had was her sister. Her sister's dead. She's smart enough to start piecing it all together.
Yeah.
And
No,
maybe
I
that's
agree.
what she did, especially after. I mean, because she would have heard that Joe's character died, right? That
Well,
Will
she didn't
died.
know. Yeah. Well, she didn't know Joe. She knew
But
Will.
Will,
Yeah.
but she would have heard that Will died. You know what I'm saying? Um, and that might cause her to start doing research and uh, maybe even not on him, but love.
Sure.
Why did her sister die? And who
And
who was he was dating Love and then started having sex with her sister. Then all of a sudden her sister went missing.
sure.
You know what I mean?
And Theo still has that you know, the USB port with the video showing Joe driving away with or putting something in Natalie's car. So there's still that as well. So there's a lot of shit that could come back and actually bite. Joe in the ass. But
Yeah, everything.
yeah, pretty
Like
much. But
he's
I
not done a good job at hiding.
no, no, no. You know, he stabbed that dude like right there in front of this yoga place, and then you
Yeah.
know she just like, hey, call 911. He just walks away. But I don't know. I really like season three. I think if they do end it on season four, it's really smart of them. I'm not gonna say I won't be sad, but at the same time, you know, you got to wrap something up eventually. You can't just keep doing the same thing over and over.
Yeah, I think 4 or 5 seasons. I think every show should end there. I
Yeah,
think 5 seasons is the max. Like I said, I think if you go past that, you're gonna run out of stuff.
it's not
I
that
would
type of
like to
show,
see.
you know.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's because, like you said, you can only do this so many times, right? The same exact thing happens
Hmm.
in different ways. I would like to see it end in season 4. The same way I thought Dexter, the original Dexter, should have ended with. I want him to get caught.
Yeah.
And if not in season 4 and they do make a season 5, I'd like to see I would like to see a real continuation of a season. If they make a 5th season, I would like season 4 to culminate into season 5, to actually continue on. So that way we get to see the real repercussions of what he did and what happened.
Here's the thing with that, you know, and like I said in the last video, there's so many similarities from you to Dexter, right? And like there's a scene that I'll watch or whatever happens, I'm like, oh, that's like, you know, I remember that type of thing. Not exactly, but that type of idea happening in Dexter. So I think they're gonna look at the end of Dexter and how it ended and take notes and be like, let's not do that, you know, and just see the backlash it got and let's do something different. Let's do something the fans will like. Because I think it has potential to do that. Netflix does usually a good job on ending their series well. But yeah, anything else with you season three before we wrap it up?
Nah, man. All in all, I agree with you. I think it was a good season. I think season 2, I believe, still my favorite season.
I liked season two.
Um,
Just the
but
characters, everything like that. I
yeah,
just like how it was set up.
everything felt more real. And season 3, like I said, I liked it. I just think it was more of the I don't know. It was the blow up. It was the extravagant season, right? It was
Mm-hmm.
like it went kind of more into the make believe of what actually could go down.
Yes,
Um,
100%.
especially in a place that small, it's kind of
Mm-hmm.
crazy just locking people up in their fucking basement of a
Yeah,
bakery and no one
yeah,
knows.
exactly. Enjoy the video. Make sure you like and subscribe.